The visualization of human subconscious. I think that's the best way to describe the experience in The Inner Friend. A theme that is generally unexploited in games but also movies since it's rarely used. The Inner Friend specifically takes the theme of childhood fears and tries to use it through images, puzzles and soundscape to both create a sense of them and tell a story. My impression is that it's not just generally a simple story that has been thought up and attempted to be told here. Rather, this game is likely to be a very personal story. The theme of childhood fears is very fitting as this is primarily a horror game, or rather the game wants to be one. Not really scary horror to my feeling, but beautifully oppressive atmospheric. And that is not necessarily worse. Whereby in the second level the game is very far away from horror. The game tells its story only through what it shows. There are no text or speakers. The only thing that serves as a basis for the story is what we see. Therefore, The Inner Friend is only something for those people who like to try to make up their own mind from a string of images and construct a logical story from it. In short, you have to like interpreting. You always start in this one room and go from there, or rather you fall into another level. At first I found the game to be something very difficult to understand. But with the second and at the latest with the third level, I could slowly think of a coherent story, whereby I am everything else than sure whether I am also only rudimentarily correct with my approaches. If you just look at the whole game roughly, it's probably not that hard to interpret something into the pictures and levels. But there are some rooms that are definitely there for a reason, where something happens for a reason, but some things don't quite fit into my interpretation, or I can't find an explanation at all. By the way, I read in several places that you should plan about 3 hours for the game. And yes, that's about right if you want to search and find everything. So there are several small items to find. But if you, like me, just play without searching everything and take what you find along the way, then 90 minutes is more than accurate. I've already said that I think the whole thing is likely to be a very personal story. One can ask oneself quite rightly how I come on it. Because if you only roughly look at the individual levels, then it is at first nothing special in many places. The fears are partly very general, partly not only for children. But it's the little things that make me think that, not the big picture. I can only think of one example at the moment, but with that I would be jumping ahead a bit. For those who have played it or still want to play it, it's the design of the opponent in the third level, or name of the game, The Inner Friend, as well as our shape. It seems to me that the invisible friend of a child that we play, or our own inner strength that we embody, has helped the protagonist through hard times. In all this, I still wonder why our bodies sometimes complete, sometimes only in parts. Now I could also just watch an explanatory video. Well, I'll do that too, but I just wanted to give a rough impression of how the game affected me without giving a complete picture. Besides, in my experience, I like games even more when I don't understand a part and then everything clears up with an explanation video.